PlayStation is on its way to having an absolutely massive 2023. Today, I want to get into some of the stuff that we know about and some of the things that have actually been rumored that possibly could happen this year. Before we get into that, do me a favor, hit the like button, and consider subscribing to the channel. In the next month or so, we're going to have a PlayStation podcast starting, so you want to be notified when that happens. Let's get started. 2023 is off to a roaring start for PlayStation. Probably the biggest news is that you could finally get one in a store. But, it started off with Hogwarts Legacy launching to a massive critical and commercial success. PlayStation VR 2 launched with just almost 48 games, and it's getting a ton of praise from critics and fans alike. Coming up in just a few weeks on March 24th, we have the remake to one of the most popular survival horror games ever made in Resident Evil 4. This game is completely made from the ground up with new gameplay, new visuals, and it just looks amazing. Capcom proved with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes that they know what they're doing, and they have probably one of the best game engines out there. Those games were absolutely stunning, and this game, I expect nothing less but top-tier Game of the Year material. In June, we have the highly anticipated Final Fantasy XVI. Originally announced during the PlayStation 2020 State of Play, we have been waiting quite a while for this one, and it looks amazing. It looks like it's going back to a medieval setting. I'm a little concerned that they're focusing more on action-based combat, but I believe this is the team that brought us Final Fantasy XIV, which is one of the biggest MMOs, if not the biggest MMO out there. So they know what they're doing, and I expect nothing but greatness from this game. And along with that, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is on the docket. Although I'm not expecting that to release this year, it was targeting end of 2023, but I just can't see Square releasing two gigantic Final Fantasy games in the same year. So I would peg that for an early to mid 2024 release. But I expect us to see more of that game sometime this year at the PlayStation Showcase. Speaking of PlayStation Showcase, it's been rumored that there's going to be a big showcase in May, June, or July covering a lot of Sony's first-party games. It was supposed to be one last year, but I guess a lot of the first-party teams weren't really ready, so they pushed it to this year. And three of the big games that I expect to be there are Insomniac's Wolverine. We've only seen basically an announced trailer for that, so I'm hoping to get at least maybe a gameplay trailer from that. That game's looking like it's going to be a late 2024 release, along with Naughty Dog's Last of Us multiplayer game Factions. There's a possibility that this game comes at the end of the year. I know Neil Druckmann did say we will see that game this year, so I'm hoping that it comes out this year as well. And the last one that I expect to see is Twisted Metal. Now, at the end of the year this year, we're going to get a Twisted Metal TV series on Peacock starring Anthony Mackie, and this Twisted Metal game has been rumored for a while, and Sony likes to drop these games around the same time as the show, so we're looking hopefully towards the end of the year for this game. And I believe it's Fire Sprite that is rumored to be making this game. Not completely positive, but a big vehicular multiplayer combat game would be really awesome. We know PlayStation was supposed to have, according to internal documents, 2 live service games launching by March of 2023, and we didn't get those. So the assumption really is that those two were Twisted Metal and The Last of Us Factions. So look for those two later this year, and hopefully they release this year and don't get pushed back any further. Now, the next big game that we know is coming later this year is Konami's Silent Hill 2 remake, and this game looks gorgeous. It's made by Bloober Team, and this is a game that fans have been asking for a long time. Anything in the Silent Hill universe, and this game is going to be a big seller. It's not often that we get 2 big AAA survival horror games in one year, let alone 2 big survival horror remakes that are beloved favorites. Survival horror fans will be eating good this year, that's for sure. But the biggest game this year, and the one with the most potential to sell the most copies, has to be Insomniac Games' Spider-Man 2. Now, not a lot is known about this game. We know that Venom's going to be in it. We know it's starring Peter and Miles, and that's basically it. All we've really gotten was the announced trailer. We can assume that maybe this game's going to have co-op. Maybe you can, if it's single player only, you can switch between Peter and Miles. But that's really it. I'm hoping that they maybe switch it up a little bit, add some new gameplay mechanics, add a new area to explore, because we've explored the same city for basically 2 games in a row. But I have a lot of faith in Insomniac. They are PlayStation's maybe, and they're for sure in their top 3 developers. They know what they're doing. They make great games. So this game, I'm not even worried about. I know it's going to be great. But that's basically it for 2023. I mean, that's a ton of games right there that you should be looking forward to, that I'm looking forward to. So if you're excited about 2023, make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell me what game you're most excited for. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I will see you guys later. Thanks.